Hello and welcome to Saint Lucia Magazine, a weekly news roundup reviewing key national developments in education, the economy, infrastructure, agriculture, and more. I am your host, Nival Auguste. In this edition, government and public sector unions sign new collective bargaining agreements, and Saint Lucians occupying government lands are one step closer to becoming property owners. We begin this recap with the government of Saint Lucia formalizing new collective bargaining agreements with key public sector unions. These agreements secure improved employment terms, benefits, and working conditions for the periods 2022 to 2025 and 2025 to 2028, a major step towards strengthening labor relations and protecting workers' rights. The government of Saint Lucia has formalized a series of collective bargaining agreements with key public sector unions, outlining the terms and conditions of employment for the periods 2022 to 2025 and 2025 to 2028. The agreements were negotiated between the government negotiating team, the Department of Labor, and representatives from the following unions: Saint Lucia Civil Service Association, the Saint Lucia Fire Service Association, Saint Lucia Medical and Dental Association, Saint Lucia Teachers Union, Vieux-Fort General and Dock Workers Union, Board of Governors South Louis Community College, Saint Lucia Correctional Services Welfare Association. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Economic Development, the Youth Economy, Justice and National Security, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, affirmed the government's ongoing commitment to workers' welfare.
The government will always do its best to ensure that the welfare of workers is taken into consideration and the workers come first. It's not a perfect world. It will never be perfect. We'll never be able to give everybody whatever they want, when they want, and how they want. But within the resources of the country, we are going to do whatever we can.
Minister for the Public Service, Labor and Gender Affairs, Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, detailed the structure of the negotiations.
Over the ensuing 12 months, the government negotiating team took a structured approach by first engaging with the unions and staff associations on the non-financial matters, including requests for increase in leave, and thereafter undertaking discussions on the financial matters, that is, allowances and fringe benefits. The GNT then invited the relevant representatives to submit proposals for salary increases.
She also highlighted several new and notable gains from the agreements.
These include payment of marking Caribbean Examination Council school-based assessment to teachers. Teachers will now receive a payment for marking and submitting CXC SBAs. Payment to temporary teachers. Temporary teachers who are required to report to their assigned schools for preparation week in August will now receive payment. Maternity leave. Mothers now have the option of extending their leave by up to 1 month following the birth of the child. Professional development for medical practitioners. This establishes a facility by which the government has committed to investing in the continuing education of medical professionals.
The ceremony took place on Monday, June 16th. Hundreds of Saint Lucian families are one step closer to owning the government lands they've called home for decades. The government is empowering long-time occupants with the opportunity to become landowners. Virgil Leonti has more in this report.
Saint Lucian families who have occupied government lands for 30 years or more will soon become owners of these lands. For the first time, the government will transfer ownership of the properties to these individuals. This new initiative involves more than 800 families in several areas of Vieux-Fort. The details were disclosed by Housing Minister Honorable Richard Frederick at a brief sitting of Parliament on Tuesday.
The government already has over 800 lots surveyed, and in the next 2 weeks or so, over 800. In the next 2 weeks or so, Mr. Speaker, persons from OPICOR, persons from POM, persons from OGE, and persons from cantonment will be given letters identifying the block and parcel number and the area of occupation, pursuant to which the deeds will be facilitated, and those deeds will be deeds of donation from the government of St. Lucia to the relevant occupants of the property.
The minister went on to clarify that there is no automatic ownership for citizens who occupy government lands for 30 years or more. He explained that the law currently applies only to occupants of private lands. The transfer of land titles will also include families who have resided on properties for less than 30 years.
Those who have not been occupying for that 30 years will be given the property at a concessionary price of $2.50 per square foot. And Mr. Speaker, that exercise will continue in the Gros Islet area, in the Dennery North area, in Labon and other places, in Dennery, in Odsa. We are proceeding with due haste in Volet, Mr. Speaker, Bel Air as well. Bel Air, Mr. Speaker, I want to announce, has over 200 surveyed lots, and those lots will lend themselves to the very same principle announced by the Honorable Prime Minister.
The House met to present a resolution for a joint sitting of Parliament to be held on June 30th, 2025, when President of Nigeria, Mr. Bola Tinubu, will address both chambers of Parliament. I'm Virgil Leonti for St. Lucia Magazine.
OACS heads will convene in St. Lucia at the end of June for the historic visit of Nigerian President Tinubu. Petula Olibert has the details.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre announced recently that the heads of government of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States will meet in St. Lucia with the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at the end of June.
Let me announce to you that His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will be visiting St. Lucia from the 28th of June to the 4th of July 2025. 2 of these days, June 30th and July 1st, 2025, will be an official visit. With the remainder of the days will be a personal vacation for the President. The engagement with President Tinubu represents a valuable occasion for heads of government, and I have invited all the heads of government from the OECS countries to visit St. Lucia at the time so we can have a formal engagement with the President of Nigeria.
Prime Minister Pierre said the Nigerian president's visit is an opportunity for the Caribbean to strengthen its bond with the African continent, considering the shared heritage of the two regions.
As chairman of the OECS Authority, I believe that the visit of the President of Nigeria represents a unique and historic opportunity to deepen the bonds between Africa and the Caribbean. As descendants of a shared heritage, the peoples of our region trace deep links to the African continent, particularly Nigeria. These long-standing cultural and historical connections compel us to continue nurturing and expanding our partnerships with Africa in ways that are meaningful, strategic, and sustainable.
Details of the President's visit to St. Lucia will be provided in due course by the Ministry of External Affairs. Petula Olibert reporting.
Still to come, the Ministry of Health advances 24-hour service plans for the Gros Islet Polyclinic. Stay with us.
Hurricanes can be very destructive. Although we can't stop them, we can lessen the effects of hurricanes on our lives and property by preparing. Start by having a family disaster management plan in place long before the hurricane season starts. Discuss your plan with your family and ensure that everyone knows their role.
Okay, everyone, let's go over our family disaster plan from last year.
You should also have an emergency supplies kit with items that do not need refrigeration and will last for some time. Include canned foods, water, clothing, first aid supplies, flashlights, battery-powered radios, batteries, sanitation and hygiene supplies, medication, special need items for infants, the elderly and persons with disabilities. Remember to regularly replace items like water, food, medication and batteries. Ensure that your home and vehicle insurance coverage are appropriate and up to date, and secure important documents in a watertight container. Ensure that your house and property is in good condition and can weather the storm. Trim branches away from your house and prune all dead or weak trees on your property. The Atlantic hurricane season is from June to November, but preparedness is year-round. Always be prepared. This message brought to you by the Beaufort South District Disaster Preparedness Committee and NEMO, and funded by the USAID Office of Foreign Disaster Assistance.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health is pressing forward with plans to offer 24-hour healthcare services at the Gros Islet Polyclinic. Construction is progressing well, with officials confirming the project is on track. Despite the ongoing works, the clinic remains open and essential services continue with little disruption. Monica McCoy tells us more.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs is pressing forward with plans to provide 24-hour services at the Gros Islet Polyclinic. Construction at the medical facility is currently ongoing and proceeding as planned. This project is a key step in increasing access to quality healthcare for residents. Monty Emmanuel, an engineer with the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, verified that the project is progressing as expected, laying the framework for a more responsive and accessible healthcare system.
The project originally started in January and is scheduled to finish in July, which is a 6-month period. The project so far is going according to plan. I mean, we had some rain, so there is a few delays, but these delays are not a large enough setback to affect the project. I mean, the contractor would have to put in a little more time to speed up works, but then it is not a huge delay. So we are basically on schedule.
Once finished, the Gros Islet Polyclinic will continue to provide more access to medical treatment, relieve the load on emergency services at other healthcare institutions, and enhance reaction times to health emergencies in the island's north.
For the A&E block, anybody that have been to Gros Islet know that the services is highly utilized, and then the area was a little tight. So what we're doing, we have an expansion in space so they can accommodate more persons over a 24-hour period. The services now would be our usual labs, everything medical, dental, everything would be in that normal space. But for the A&E space, it didn't mean now we have like 3 doctors instead of 2, I think, at the point. So they were increasing the amount of services they're giving to the public to reduce their wait time, and that is what they're looking at within that block.
Despite the ongoing rehabilitation works, Administrator of the Gros Islet Polyclinic, Sharon Joseph, is assuring the public that essential health services remain available to meet their needs.
To inform the public that despite the ongoing construction work, we want to assure them that the service have minimal interruptions. All clinics are open. We have the laboratory, the X-ray department, the pharmacy, and the doctor's visit. They are ongoing from 8 to midnight. We want to thank the public for their patience as we provide the best care for them.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs remains committed to strengthening St. Lucia's healthcare system through infrastructure development, improved service delivery, and enhanced patient care. From the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, I am Monica McCoy.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre has clarified that the government of St. Lucia has not received any official correspondence indicating that the country has been placed on any list by the United States. The Prime Minister's statement comes in response to recent speculation as he reaffirmed St. Lucia's commitment to transparency and strong international relations. Kishma Serrier has the details.
Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre addresses validity of reports that St. Lucia is on the U.S. immigration's ban list. On June 15, 2025, news reports were circulating that U.S. President Donald Trump's administration is considering significantly expanding its travel restrictions by potentially banning citizens of 36 additional countries from entering the United States. Of these countries, St. Lucia was listed. During a pre-cabinet press briefing, Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre addressed the issue of the reports that have been circulating on social media.
I also want to inform you that I, like most of you, read the article in the press of Saint Lucia being on a blacklist. I want to inform you that we have had no official notification from the U.S. on any such matter. But we'll continue to work with our contacts and our embassies in Washington, in New York, and the Ministry of External Affairs will continue to explore avenues with the embassy in Barbados to ascertain whether there is any truth in the matter.
Prime Minister Pierre stated that St. Lucia and the United States have enjoyed strong diplomatic relations, and the government will continue to provide reliable information as it becomes available.
We will remain engaged. The U.S. have been our friends. We continue to maintain a very high level of diplomatic engagement. We continue to work with the U.S. So we are monitoring the situation, and the public of St. Lucia will be involved. We will always speak the truth and tell them the exact nature of the story if there is any truth in it. But they've had no official notification from Washington or from the U.S. of any such listing.
The PM reiterates that as information becomes available, it will be disseminated to the public. For St. Lucia Magazine, I am Kishma Seri.
Coming up next, St. Lucia's TVET School of Innovation showcases youth skills development.
We are 758. Creative, resourceful, resilient. We have been through it all. Pandemics, hurricanes, global and local crisis. Yet, we stand tall, a proud people. We support each other, embracing what is ours, what is truly St. Lucian. Support our local entrepreneurs, their products and services. Shop smart, shop local. Love St. Lucia.
Welcome back. St. Lucia TVET School of Innovation hosts groundbreaking exhibition showcasing youth skills development. Kishma Serrier reports.
The St. Lucia TVET Institute School of Innovation and Technology opened its doors to an inspiring exhibition, marking the first anniversary of its participation in the Caribbean Local Government Forum, or CLGF, and the European Union-funded initiative. The project, titled Connecting Civil Society and Local Authorities for Sustainable Development, focuses on empowering youth through vocational training and community engagement. Guided by former principal Ms. Examin Filbert and a proactive student council, the initiative has achieved key milestones. Principal of the St. Lucia TVET Institute of Innovation and Technology, Augusta Emmanuel John, says the program is successfully meeting its 4 core objectives.
The 4 main objectives outlined by the CLGF are: number 1, to foster an institutionalized relationship within existing governance systems between civil society and subnational local government authorities to include community engagement in public service delivery and decision making. Second objective, to provide a framework for augmenting vocational and technical trade skills education in preparing youth aged 13 to 18 years for decent work and school-to-work transitioning. Thirdly, to promote entrepreneurship, income generation, local production, consumption of goods, skills, and talents to protect and nurture micro and small enterprises. And fourthly, to use information technology for interfacing and sharing experiences among Caribbean students, teachers, and local authorities, as well as stakeholders.
Principal Emmanuel John outlined the key vocational areas emphasized by the project.
The project provides support in 4 specific TVET areas, namely crop production, building furniture technology, manufacturing sewn products, and bread, pastry, and cakes. This support is demonstrated during the normal scheduled classes as well as an after-school program. The after-school program teaches students skills apart from what is being taught in the classroom. This program trains students from the School of Innovation as well as students from other secondary schools who live in the Alger Basin. This initiative speaks directly to Objectives 3 and 4, which aim to provide framework for augmenting TVET trade skills in an attempt to prepare students for viable employment opportunities.
Launched on December 6, 2024, this two-year partnership represents an investment of €73,500. It aims to strengthen the link between local authorities and communities while nurturing sustainable livelihoods through skills-based education. For the Government Information Service, I am Kishma Seri.
The Department of Fisheries has distributed 70 safety grab bags to Dennery fishers under the UBEC project, enhancing maritime safety and resilience ahead of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Zarek Felix reports.
In a significant step towards enhancing maritime safety and building resilience in St. Lucia's fisheries sector, the Department of Fisheries has distributed 70 safety equipment grab bags to licensed and registered boat owners in Dennery. This effort forms part of the Contingent Emergency Response component under the Unleashing the Blue Economy of the Caribbean UBEC project, branded under the tagline, Empowering Safer Seas, one vessel at a time. This initiative underscores the ministry's commitment to equipping fisherfolk with critical tools to support safe and sustainable livelihoods, especially in preparation for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Each grab bag contains essential emergency items designed to improve the safety and preparedness of fishers whilst at sea. In addition to the distribution, 14 Dennery-based fishers successfully completed the boat masters training, further bolstering their qualification and operational knowledge. These fishers were also presented with personal life jackets alongside their safety kits. UBEC project manager Shermaine Closel emphasized the importance of the safety grab bags in helping fisherfolk build resilience in their livelihoods and communities.
So today, 70 grab bags will be handed over to boat owners and captains within this community, which is recognized as a major landing site on our island. Through a thorough assessment of the needs of fisherfolks, it was determined that safety is an important aspect which crowns the necessities of this rather dangerous livelihood pursuit. We know that the ocean can often be very unforgiving. So UBEC is happy to have also strengthened this by delivering a boat master training program, which provided instruction on safety at sea techniques and practices, including basic navigation, radio communication, to name a few.
This distribution marks the beginning of a nationwide rollout. Chief Fisheries Officer Sarita Williams-Peter noted that during the month of June, licensed boat owners in other fishing communities across St. Lucia will receive similar safety equipment grab bags as part of a broader national effort to prepare for the hurricane season and promote long-term sustainability in the sector.
The Gear Up for Life Safety Equipment for Fisherfolk Distribution Tour, with the theme Empowering Safer Seas, one vessel at a time, is more than just about handing out safety gear, which is lovely, adorning here, but it's about equipping you with the tools and the support to protect yourself, your crews, and your communities every time you head out to sea. So for the month of June, the Department of Fisheries will be conducting a nationwide handover of these grab bags containing safety equipment, as well as life jackets for crew members or anybody who completed the boating master's course.
The SUC UBEC initiative demonstrates a proactive approach to the disaster risk management and sustainable fisheries development, ensuring that St. Lucia's fishers are better prepared to face emergencies at sea. From the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development, I am Zarek Felix reporting.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of St. Lucia Magazine. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who contributed to this production, the National Television Network, the GIS team, and communication officers across government ministries. Thank you for watching on NTN Channel 122 and following us on the official social media platforms of the Government of St. Lucia. I am Nivalo Geist. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay hopeful as we continue tracking St. Lucia's progress.